So you're thinking about moving to Riverton, Utah. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about the good and the bad, the pros and the cons of living in the Riverton, Utah area. And so we're going to mainly cover the pros because there's a lot more pros. There's only a couple cons that we'll discuss, but it's always good to know what the good and the bad is about anywhere that you're considering making a move to. And if you stick around until the end, I'll actually share with you what all the buzz is about with this new outdoor recreation area that's being built just outside of the Riverton area. So you're going to want to stick around for that. And we're going to get after it right now. If this is your first time to the channel, and if you'd like to know everything there is to know about living in the Salt Lake City area and the surrounding areas like Riverton, then subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications. That way you can be the first to know about the current market in Salt Lake City, Utah. Hi, my name's Steve Gilbert. I'm with eXp Realty, and my team and I, we get calls and emails every day from people just like you that are looking to make a move to Salt Lake City, Utah, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're looking to make a move in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text. You can always schedule a Zoom call with us. The information is in the description below. We'd love to help you make a smooth move to Salt Lake City, Utah. So as I mentioned, we are going to be covering the pros and the cons of living in the Riverton, Utah area, and we're going to get after it right now. Okay, so what are the pros and the cons that we're going to talk about? Well, let's start with home values. So Salt Lake County right now has a median home value of $525,000. So if you've watched my videos in the past, we were closer to $545,000. We have seen values start to come down. And so $525,000 for Salt Lake County. Right now, Riverton is at $575,000. So that's our median home price there. So that would be one of the cons as far as comparing it to the rest of the Salt Lake County area. We are higher than the other median home prices there. However, here's one of the pros, and that is that where a lot of the growth in the development is in Salt Lake County, which is the southwest corner of the Salt Lake Valley, we're actually one of the lower median home prices. So when we compare to our neighbor to the north, which is South Jordan, they have a median home price of $640,000. When we look at our neighbor to the west, which is Harriman, they have a median home price of $600,000. So when we look at $575,000, we're actually getting more home for our money in the Riverton area. So that's definitely one of the pros. With newer areas, we do have more affordability comparing directly to some of the other new growth areas in the Salt Lake Valley. Something else that we do see in the Riverton area is for those who like a little bit larger lot, like a little bit more space between their neighbor, Riverton is going to give you more options as far as larger lots. So the average lot size in the Riverton area for single family homes is 0.30 of an acre. So we're just shy of a third of an acre. And so, as new communities continue to develop, oftentimes we're seeing these lot sizes get smaller and smaller. In fact, there's a lot of neighborhoods with these small lots of 1/10 of an acre to 0.15 of an acre. And so if you like more yard, more space, then Riverton could be a great option for you because of that average lot size being just under a third of an acre. So having the larger lot options in Riverton, a larger lot can mean a larger expense when it comes to maintaining and watering your yards, your gardens, and all of your grass during the summertime. And one great thing about Riverton is that it has secondary water. So most residents are going to have a secondary water option in the Riverton area. When you go to areas like South Jordan, there's just a handful of communities in South Jordan that have secondary water options. And when I lived in South Jordan, it cost me a lot of money to water my grass. I was on a third of an acre, and it was expensive during the summertime to keep my grass green. And so one great thing about Riverton, again, this comes back to if you're enjoying that larger lot, if that's what you enjoy, a little bit more space, a little bit more lawn, then to keep that green during the summertime, having a secondary water option is great. It's going to be a lot more affordable and just give you more options when it comes to keeping your grass green and your gardens green as well. From a convenience standpoint, Bangalore Highway gives you so many different options. One of the best things about it is it's going to give you quick and easy access over to I-15. with these cities that are located on the west side of Salt Lake Valley, we're talking South Jordan, West Jordan, Harriman, these areas that are tucked on the west side, that east-west travel, that's always the frustrating travel. That's where it tends to get most congested. Going north and south, you've got Mountain View Corridor, you've got Bangalore Highway, and further up north, you've got I-215. So north and south flows a lot easier than the east and west. And so the further that you are west, the further the traffic and the more traffic that you have to deal with. So having Bangalore Highway come right on your west border and on your south border is going to make getting to I-15 so much easier. The other great thing about Riverton is its location is it's not so far west. You've got Harriman that's the neighbor to the west, and so they're going to have a lot more of that east-west travel compared to what Riverton is. In Riverton, you can easily hop on Bangalore, head east over to I-15, and then that'll give you access up north into Salt Lake or head down south into the Utah County area. Also with Bangalore Highway, that's where all of these shopping centers are going to be located. So there's a lot of options with restaurants and different stores at several different places around the Bangalore area. So we do have a new shopping center called Mountain View, and it's called Mountain View Village. They just put in a new Cinemark there. So there's movie options there. There's grocery stores. There's additional restaurants. And so people from Harriman, they're actually going to come out of Harriman and they're going to do most of their shopping in the Riverton area. Same with Bluffdale. They're going to have to travel north into the Riverton area. They want to go to a Walmart. They're going to go to the Walmart off of the Bangalore and the 13400 South area. That's where your Home Depot is located. That's where additional restaurants are located. Further north on Bangalore Highway near 12600 South, that's where you're going to find additional restaurants like your Texas Roadhouse. You're going to find your Lowe's home improvement stores. As you continue further north on Bangalore Highway, closer to 118 South, we're going to find the district. And so now we're moving into South Jordan, but that's our border right there. 118th South is pretty much the Riverton South Jordan border, and that's where you're going to find the district. And so lots of shopping options. The Megaplex Theater is located there. You've got the JCPenney's, you've got your Target, you've got your Sprout Market. And so if there's restaurants and shopping, you're going to find it all right there. So it's super convenient for people that live in Riverton. Plus, I want to talk to you about the 12600 South and Bangalore area. You've got this great bowling alley called Delton's, and so it's a popular place to go. It's always got a lot of people, but it's got laser tag, it's got pool tables, arcade games, and lots of bowling alleys. And so it's a super great time if you want to go spend some time bowling as a family. It's a great place to definitely go and check out. Another great point about the Riverton area, and that's going to be the number of parks and open spaces that you'll have access to. So there's 33 parks in Riverton. Easily be able to find a place to go and enjoy some open space. If you enjoy being outside, options with that. But also you're located near Daybreak. So Daybreak is just off the northwest corner of Riverton in the South Jordan area. But if you've watched my South Jordan videos, then you'll know that there's around 50 miles of walking, biking trails all in the Daybreak area, and that's just super close to where you're located. Plus, you've got the Ochre Lake out there, so if you want to walk those trails and those pathways. Daybreak itself has around 38 parks. So when you look at Daybreak parks, when you look at the parks in Riverton, you're going to have a lot of different options, over 70 options when it comes to parks and recreation areas. And so, as being a Daybreak resident, there are additional benefits, but you don't have to live in Daybreak to enjoy those parks and those open spaces. So again, if you watch that South Jordan video where I actually did the South Jordan vlog, I take you to Daybreak. I used to live near Daybreak outside of the borders, but I would always go there. I would go there with my young kids. They would ride their bikes around the lake. And so we just got to enjoy all of the amenities and those benefits that Daybreak offers, the trail system. And it's just a great area if you enjoy being outside, getting a little bit of exercise and enjoying the fresh air. It's all right there near the Riverton area. So staying with this theme of going just outside of the borders of Riverton, you've got some great options nearby for sporting events. So first off, let's talk about heading just slightly down, just off the Mountain View corridor. We've got the Salt Lake Real. That's their practice facility down there, but it's also where the Salt Lake Monarch, which is the minor league soccer team. And then we've also got the rugby team, which is down there, which is the Utah Warriors. And so if you enjoy sporting events like that, it's almost right there in your backyard because that's located pretty close to the Riverton border, just south of that area. And also, if you like the Salt Lake Real, that's just on the other side of I-15 in Sandy. So that's going to be in the south end of the valley. You're going to have quick and easy access to places like that. You know, it used to be that if we wanted to enjoy sporting events, we had to go all the way up into downtown Salt Lake to see the Jazz play. We had to go all the way up to the University of Utah. And you know, if you're going to the University of Utah to watch a football game or basketball games, then you're basically heading from one corner of the valley to the other. So it's really nice that there's options that have moved down into the southwest part of the valley, such as the soccer, the rugby. And in 2025, we've got the Salt Lake Bees. So this is the farm team for the Anaheim Angels. They're going to be building a stadium down in the Daybreak area. So when we talk about additional benefits of living near Daybreak, this is going to be one of these as well. So 2024 is the last scheduled baseball game for the Bees up in the Salt Lake area. They plan to have the new facility and stadium completed for the 2025 season. So great options for sporting events there. Also, there's Riverton itself offers some great summer activities. They've got their town days where they do their carnival. They have their parades. They've got their fun 5K races and other races where they involve different activities for the families during the 4th of July time. So they typically hold theirs around the last week of June, but they always do their fireworks. There's a rodeo that takes place, and so Riverton puts on a great event that time of year, and most cities do in Utah. You know, Utah's pretty good about celebrating the 4th of July, the 24th of July, and Riverton just does a great job with their Town Day celebration. Depending on your opinion of whether or not you enjoy a small town feel or not, this could be a pro or a con. So with the Riverton area, it has grown very rapidly, just like everywhere in the Salt Lake Valley. So we've just seen so much growth and expansion. The southwest part of the valley has seen the greatest growth. And so with that, we have a population in Riverton that's around 47,000 people. And, there are people who have lived there for a long time who can complain about losing that small town feel. And I remember Riverton from when I was young. So my parents would take me down to our dentist, who was located in the Riverton area. After we went to the dentist, we'd go visit my great grandparents, and in their backyard was a dairy farm. So we'd always just watch the cows, and it was always fun as a kid to see that kind of farm stuff. Well, those days are long gone, right? That farm no longer exists. And so it is a growing city. However, on the plus side of that, compared to some of the other neighbors, Riverton to some extent maintains that smaller town feel. So to our neighbor to the north, we have around 85,000 people that call South Jordan home. So we're almost half the population in Riverton. And then when we look at our neighbor to the west, which is Harriman, they have around 65,000 people. So we've got fewer people that call Riverton home. It is going to somewhat maintain a little bit smaller, tight-knit community feel. So if you do enjoy that, again, some of the pros and the cons, we have lost some of that, small town feel as we've continued to grow and develop and build more houses out here, but still a very tight-knit community in Riverton. I mentioned that if you stuck around to the end, I'd share a couple of things with you, what the latest buzz is about with these recreation areas. So first off, I want to talk about Wardle Park. Last year, my wife told me, she's like, we have got to go to this Wardle Park. They've got one of the best splash pads. And my kids, I've got a couple of young kids still, and they love splash pads. So during the summertime, we're always looking for new splash pads to let them go, run around, get wet, have a lot of fun. And Wardle Park, it did not disappoint. So it's a great big park. There's some really nice play centers there. There's some nice open fields. They've got a really nice splash pad. There's a nice little waterfall there. And so lots of fun. We had a great time spending some time there as a family just last year. So that was the first time that I actually discovered that park. But that's located just south of Riverton. So it is located in the city of Bluffdale, but it's on the north end. And so it's going to be really convenient to get to from the Riverton area. Now, the other area that I wanted to talk about, and that's Juniper. So it's called Juniper Canyon Recreation Area. And this is actually outside of the border of Riverton as well. It's actually in Harriman, but it's really close to the Mountain View corridor. So it's going to be just south and on the west part of the Riverton area. What this is it's a 72-acre open space park. and it is going to be developed and built in different phases. So they have got the first phase done. They actually did the ribbon cutting ceremony back in the fall of 2022. And so there's a park there, but there's going to be a trail system that ties into like an outdoor, kind of like a fitness area. It's almost like a circuit training, almost like a CrossFit. So there's going to be close to 2 miles of paved trail where you can run, you can exercise, but there's also different stops. So there's 11 different stations where you can climb ropes, where there's some different like monkey bar style things where you can, do pull-ups. You've got some different log obstacles. So it's really designed to be like a fitness centered outdoor CrossFit style event. So anyhow, there's a bike track there. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, the first phase of it that's already done, they've done a great job on it. There's going to be, your restroom facilities. And so just a great place to go hang out. And if you enjoy getting that outdoor exercise and recreation, I don't know of any other parks in the Salt Lake Valley that have anything like this, where it's actually set up and designed to be like an outdoor exercise facility. So that's going to be super fun when it's all completed and ready to go. So I hope this has been a good overview as far as pros and cons about the Riverton area. We have kind of tied in some of the neighboring cities in the southwest corner of the Salt Lake Valley. But whether you're thinking about making a move in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text. You can always send us an email. The information, it'll be in the description below. We'd love to help you make a smooth move to Salt Lake City, Utah, or to Riverton like we talked about today. And until then, I hope to see you around town.